A Soviet dead man's switch is still armed, right now, and nobody can turn it off. It's September 26, 1983. Stanislav Petrov sits in a bunker outside Moscow, watching green phosphor screens flicker with incoming data. The system perimeter, though the West will later call it dead hand, has just flagged 5 American ICBM inbound. His hand hovers over the red phone, one call up the chain, and Moscow launches everything. Civilization ends in his shift, but Petrov doesn't pick up the phone. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They think dead hand was a Cold War relic, something filed away in 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed. But that's not quite accurate. Let me show you the actual documents right here in the archive. Dead hand was designed to do one thing: ensure retaliation even if every Soviet leader, every general, every command center was vaporized in a first strike. The system was born in the 1970s when Soviet strategists faced a terrifying problem. American missiles were getting faster, more accurate. A surprise attack could theoretically decapitate the entire Soviet command structure before anyone could retaliate. So the Kremlin commissioned something unprecedented: a fully automated, self-activating nuclear response system. No human needed to push the button, the machine would do it. The logic was brutal and elegant. If dead hand detected a massive nuclear strike, seismic sensors, radiation spikes, communication blackouts, it would automatically launch Soviet ICBM at pre-programmed American targets. A dead country still gets its revenge, mutually assured destruction on autopilot. The system was so classified that many Soviet officers didn't even know it existed. Some Western analysts didn't believe it was real until the 1990s. Back to Petrov, September 1983. The alarm screamed, 5 missiles detected. He had minutes to decide, but something felt wrong. The signal strength didn't match what he'd been trained to expect. Real attacks would be massive, coordinated volleys. 5 was too few. Petrov trusted his gut. He reported a false alarm to his superiors. He was right. A satellite malfunction had spooked the system. But here's the thing nobody talks about. If Petrov had been wrong, if those 5 blips had been real, dead hand wouldn't have cared about his judgment call. The system was designed to override human doubt. Once certain thresholds were triggered, the launch sequence began automatically. Petrov's calm that night bought humanity time, but the machine was already halfway through its protocol. The Soviet Union dissolved in 1991. Communism crumbled, the wall fell. Most people assumed dead hand went into the dustbin of history with it. Declassified documents suggest otherwise. Look at this report from the 1990s. Russian military officials confirmed the system was never fully deactivated. It was simply dormant, like a patient in suspended animation. In 1997, Russia admitted dead hand, or perimeter as they call it, was still active, still monitoring, still ready. The system had been upgraded, modernized even, new sensors, new communication protocols. The logic remained unchanged. If Moscow burns, so does everything else. It's not paranoia if the threat is real, it's called insurance. Today, dead hand is believed to still be in operation. Russian officials have never formally confirmed its current status, which itself is telling. The system exists in a kind of legal gray zone, neither officially active nor officially deactivated. It's like a loaded gun sitting on a table that nobody acknowledges. Everyone knows it's there. Nobody wants to be the first to touch it. The implications are staggering. If Russia's leadership is killed in a decapitating strike, whether nuclear or conventional, dead hand could theoretically launch thousands of warheads without a single human authorization. No president, no general, no human finger on the button, just mathematics and sensors and the cold logic of retaliation. But here's the dark irony, and this is where it gets genuinely unsettling. If a conventional conflict escalates, if tensions spike, if someone miscalculates, dead hand becomes a liability. It's not a shield, it's a trap door. The system was built to prevent war by making war unwinnable. Instead, it may have made war unstoppable. Petrov died in 2017. He spent his final years giving interviews, warning about the fragility of automated systems. He knew something most of us don't, that the line between survival and extinction is sometimes just one person's judgment call. And that line is getting thinner every year as systems become more autonomous, more hair-triggered, more removed from human control. The documents we have suggest dead hand's protocols haven't changed fundamentally since the 1970s. The sensors are better, the communications are faster, but the logic is the same: detect, verify, launch. And here's what keeps strategists awake at night: there's no off switch. No way to disable it remotely, no backdoor. It was designed to survive total annihilation. Some analysts argue dead hand is actually a stabilizing force, a guarantee of mutual destruction so absolute that rational actors won't risk war. Others see it differently. They see a doomsday machine that's been humming quietly for 50 years, waiting for an accident that might never come. But if it does come, if the sensors trigger, if the system activates, there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. What makes Dead Hand so historically significant isn't that it ended the Cold War. It didn't. What matters is that it survived the Cold War. It outlived the Soviet Union itself. It's still there, still watching, still ready. It's a ghost in the machine, a decision made in the 1970s that nobody alive today can unmake. The real question isn't whether Dead Hand will ever activate. It's whether we can live indefinitely with a system designed to end civilization. Whether we can trust machines with stakes this high. Whether Petrov's calm judgment that night in 1983 will be matched by the sensors, algorithms, and protocols of an automated system that has no capacity for doubt. And that's the haunting truth about Dead Hand. It's not a relic. It's not a historical artifact locked away in a museum. It's active infrastructure running in real time right now, somewhere beneath Russian soil. A doomsday device that nobody can turn off because nobody ever figured out how to turn it on in the first place. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into Cold War secrets that still shape geopolitics today, the declassified stories that changed history.